Okay. All right. So before we begin, I just want to spend a couple of minutes on the yoga teachings before we start our physical practice. One of the highest teachings of yoga is this opportunity to surrender to the pattern of the universe. And acknowledge that we are an integral part of nature. And I thought that tonight was, Gwen is just joining us here, so let's let her get settled in. I thought tonight was a great opportunity to talk about this because of the moon, to understand that we are part of nature, and that when we are connected with nature, we can begin to see what is happening in our own life and try to understand our role. So let me break this down to you. In the classes this week, I've been talking about this relationship between concealing and revealing. And so if you think about it on the simplest level, like we're right in the middle of spring, we have all these obvious examples in nature of seeds or buds that are bursting into flowers. And so you have this beautiful example in nature of this process of something going inside, concealing, and then revealing. You have, caterpillars right now that are making that transition into butterflies, just another very clear, obvious example of concealment and revelation. When we try to make the connection with ourselves, with nature, we can then begin to have more patience for the things in our life that are happening that require going inward and concealing in hopes of creating some revelation or some reveal. And oftentimes we get very impatient and we want to see the results immediately, and we can't really see that the process is happening within us. So if we look to the examples in nature and we realize that we are a part of nature, we can help understand that this process of concealing and revealing is happening within us at all times. It's very easy for our ego to forget this. We separate ourselves from nature. We have our house, we look outside and we say nature is outside, or we associate ourselves with our roles, whether that is as a father or a mother or son or our career, but we associate with a particular role and we separate ourselves from our connection to nature. And we, in the yoga practice, use our yoga practice to connect to our breath, to connect to our energy, to connect to our thoughts, so that we can realize that we are a part of something much bigger than our bodies. And when we create that sense of oneness, that connection with the larger universe, with nature, is when we start to reach this ultimate state of bliss, which is our highest goal in our yoga practice. So we realize that within our body, we just have all of these perceptions that are created from our experiences, our beliefs, our thoughts, our emotions. But we're just like one small thread that is woven into the much bigger picture, the much bigger fabric. So when you come to understand that, like that we are a part of nature, we are the thread to the fabric, you realize that the thread is the fabric, that there's this overall oneness, that we are nature, that our body is a part of nature. It's a big teaching. This is the fundamental teaching. This is the highest teaching. It's a tough one to wrap your head around. But this is really what we're striving for, is to connect with that energy. So I was hoping that we would have the opportunity to be able to do that tonight. So let's start in child's pose. I'm going to turn on some music for us. So just take a few moments now to go inside and begin to observe your breath. Observe your energy. So notice, like, how are you feeling? Are you feeling tired right now? Or are you feeling maybe a little bit more energetic? Observe your thoughts. Observe your emotions. Begin to surrender yourself down towards the earth. Feel the weight of your hips rooting down. Feel the breath expanding your back body. Feel the length in your side body as you stretch your fingertips long. And then start to walk your fingers over towards the left side of your mat. And anchor yourself from your right hip. And see if you can make the breath big and wide, opening up the right side of the body. And then slowly bring yourself over to the right side of your mat. And come back to center. As you come back to center with your next inhale, you're going to rise up into a tabletop position. Start to shift your weight forward, lower all the way down to the earth. Press into your hands, press into the tops of your feet, and just lift your chest off of the floor into just a small little heart opener. And then exhale back onto your hands and your knees, rounding your back, drawing your abdomen in. Inhale, arch your back, lifting your heart. Exhale back to child's pose. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, coming onto hands and knees. Exhale, lower down to the earth. Inhale, press into your hands, lifting your heart. Exhale, round your back. Inhale, arch your back. Exhale, back to child's pose. Inhale, hands and knees. Exhale, shift forward as you lower down. Inhale, press into your hands, lift your heart. Exhale, come onto your hands and your knees and round your back. Inhale, arch your back. Exhale, sink back to your child's pose. And then start to come back onto your hands and your knees. Lift up through your tailbone and begin to raise your hips up into a down dog. And just start to walk it out. So you're gonna bend one knee at a time. Drop your hips from side to side. Give your hips a big stretch. And then we're gonna slowly start to walk our feet forward towards the front of your mat. Take your hands to your shins. Inhale, lift and extend your spine as you look forward. Exhale, flex and fold. And just let it all hang down like you're surrendering down towards the earth. Relax your head, shake it out, yes. Shake it out, no. Try to let go of any tension in your neck as your shoulders just hang down by your ears. And then bring your hands to your hips, rise up to a standing position. We're gonna do one sun salutation tonight. So in your sun salutation, bring your hands together at heart center. Ground down through your feet so you have a deep connection with the earth. Begin to feel the curve in your lower back, the lift in your heart. And then consider setting an intention for your practice tonight. So something that you would like to manifest in your life, a change. And then send your intention all the way up. Exhale, cactus your arms. Open your arms up wide, drawing your shoulder blades together, lifting your heart as you feel this bigger back bend. Take a few breaths here in this back bend. And then inhale, re-extend your arms. Wrap your right hand around your left wrist and stretch over to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, wrap and reach to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center, coming back to your intention. And then exhale, surrender down towards the earth. Inhale, look forward to extend your spine. Exhale, root your hands down. Step back to your high plank. Drop your knees. Shift your weight forward and lower all the way down towards the earth. I'm going to lower the volume of the music just a little so you can hear me. Okay. So as you're coming down onto your belly now, take your hands nice and wide, so wider than the mat. Lift up onto your fingertips. We're going to do a 3-part back bend here. So put a little bit more weight into your thumbs. Take a little of the weight out of your other 4 fingers. And then with your inhale, tuck your chin and round your back. Lifting slightly off of the floor. And then with your exhale, start to soften your heart, meaning pull your chest through your shoulders. Feel the retraction or the hugging in of the shoulder blades towards the spine. And then this next third movement comes from the abdomen. Begin to inhale, lifting up through your abdomen. Lift your chest up a little higher, pull it a little further forward into a back bend. Very deep vertebral back bend here. Lower down, we'll practice that 2 more times. Inhale, round. Exhale, retract the shoulder blades, softening the heart. Inhale, lengthening up through the abdomen. and then lower. So inhale, round the back. Exhale, softening the heart, pulling through. Inhale, extending up through the abdomen, lifting the chest and heart higher and further forward. Exhale, lower down. Sink back to a child's pose, stretch your back out. And then we're gonna rise into down dog. Inhale, raise your right leg up and step the right foot forward. With your hands down on the floor, start to hug the feet together to create some stability. And then begin to rise up into a high lunge position. In your high lunge position, take your arms up, allow the shoulders to lift up, lengthening through the side body. And then begin to cactus your arms, creating a back bend. So your tailbone is lifted, your lower back is arched, and your shoulder blades hug in towards the spine as you pull your heart through. And then exhale, take your hands down to the floor, drop the left knee down, and then sink the hips back, folding over the front leg that's extended. So you're extending the front leg in a runner's lunge or half Hanumanasana. You're looking over the toes, rooting into the front heel and folding forward, feeling this big stretch in your hamstring. Breathing into the back of the right leg. And then shift your weight back into the front foot. Sweep the arms up again, just like we did in the high lunge, but now your knee is tapped down. And then cactus your arms. Begin to pull the heart forward. And let's do it 3 times, see if we can go a little deeper with each time. So inhale, re-extend. Exhale, cactus. And one last time. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, cactus the arms as you pull your heart through, leaning forward, stretching that front left hip. And then re-extend the arms, wrap the left wrist and stretch over to the right. Release the bind, plant your left hand down next to the front foot, and then sweep the right arm up for a big twist. And then if you want to add another heart opener here, you could take your hand behind your head, lift your tailbone, feel the arch in the lower back, press the head into the hand, and see if you can pull your heart through. And then release. We'll come back to our down dog. And we'll take our second side. So as you come back to your down dog, inhale your left leg up into the air. Exhale, step your left foot forward with your fingers still on the ground. Begin to hug your feet in towards one another to create a sense of stability. And then begin to rise up. Sweep your arms up overhead. Allow your shoulders to creep up by the ears, pulling the ribs away from the pelvis. And then cactus the arms, lifting the heart. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach long through the side body. Make room for the heart opener, and then cactus the arms, hugging those shoulder blades in. Pull your heart through. Exhale, take your hands down, drop your back knee, and then we're going to sink the hips back to stretch the back of the front leg. So toes draw in towards the body, look over the front leg, and then exhale, fold, rooting into your left heel, energetically pulling it back. So this would be like an example of going inward, a pose that brings you like into that concealment, that opportunity to go inside. And then in yoga, we have this beautiful balance between concealment and reveal. So now you're going to shift forward to come into the heart opener to balance that out. So now you're going to keep the back knee down. We're going to extend the arms up with the inhale, and then exhale, cactus the arms, pulling the heart through as you lean forward, opening the right hip. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, extend. Exhale, pull your heart through even deeper. Feel that back bend. Feel the opening in your hip. And then as you re-extend, wrap your right wrist, stretch over to the left. And then begin to take the right hand down to the floor next to your front foot. Root into your left foot, and then sweep your left arm up. Feel this big twist in your mid-back. And then if you want to add a heart opener here, create that little lift in the tailbone. Take your hand behind your head, press your head into your hand, and pull your chest through. And then from there, we'll slowly press back to our down dog. And in your down dog, begin to walk your feet a little closer towards your hands to shorten your dog. Start to take your heels outward. Draw your heels energetically down towards the earth. Press out through the heels, press out through the calves, press out through the hamstrings. And as you push into your hands, see if you can lift your tailbone up, creating extension in your spine. Allow your shoulders to creep up by your ears. And then we're going to take our right leg up into the air, step the right foot forward, and rise up. We're going to do 2 more standing poses, and then we're going to take it down to the mat. So in this pose, the back foot is going to be at a slight angle. The heels should be in line with each other. And then you'll just start to lunge into the front leg and begin to rest your forearm on your thigh. So you're lunging and then resting the forearm. Your left hand is on your top hip, and then begin to reach that top arm up towards the ceiling or the sky. Start to reach the arm forward And feel this big line of energy moving from the back foot, from your connection with the earth, up the side body, out through your top hand. And then see if you can lift your ribs up towards the sky, creating a little twist in the torso. And if you're feeling it, maybe you drop that top hand behind your head and add another back bend if you're looking for more heart opening. So if you're going for that heart opener, create the little lift in your tailbone, the arch in your lower back, and then start to pull your heart through, your chest through, as you press your head into your hand. Take a few breaths here, feel the posture, wherever you are. And then we'll slowly lift up, extending the front leg. So you're just going to take the weight out of that front muscle, and we'll set up for triangle. I hope you guys can hear these wind chimes. They're so pretty. All right, so for triangle, I know a lot of you guys have very tight hips, so a really helpful way to set up for triangle is to turn this back hip forward. So you start rotating it forward, creating almost like an inner spiral of the back leg, like the inner thigh is spiraling in and up. And then you'll extend your arms out wide, begin to reach forward, and then hinge from the hip, allowing your bottom right hand to reach down towards the earth or a block or your ankle. And then feel the stretch in the left side body. And imagine as if you're like leaning against a wall as you let your shoulder blades draw in and your heart pulls through. Sending the energy out. Letting go of what we don't need to make room for the new. Give yourself another breath here, and then we'll slowly come down to down dog, and we'll take the second side. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Pivot the back heel down, and then rise up, lunging into the front quadricep, taking your left forearm to rest. Your left forearm will rest on the thigh. And then with your right hand to your hip, begin to extend your right arm up. And then start to reach forward, creating that long line of energy all the way from the back foot up through the fingertips. Like reach through your fingers until you feel it leave your body. Start to lift your ribs up towards the sky. And then if you want to add the heart opener again, taking the hand behind the head, lifting the tailbone, softening or curving the lower back, and then pull your heart through, allowing those shoulder blades to come together. And then you'll slowly bring yourself out of it as you're ready. So take your time. Extending through the front leg, making the transition for triangle. So now we turn the right hip, the back hip forward. Create that little rotation in the back leg. Open your arms wide. Reach forward. And then allow that left hand to fall down towards the earth or the ankle. Sending the energy out. So finding this balance between postures that bring us inward and postures that allow for energetic release. And then we'll slowly release. Drop your knees down to the mat into like a hands and knees position. And we'll come into a hip stretch. So you'll take your right foot and bring it over towards the top of your mat on the right edge. Begin to extend the back leg and then lower down onto your forearms. You can either use blocks or just lower right down to the floor. And begin to roll out through your right hip. So maybe you take your hand to your hip crease and press it away, or maybe you just relax into it, putting more intention into the right edge of the foot. We're going to start to hold these poses longer. And now you can either stay exactly where you are, or you can bend the back knee and take your right hand and reach for your back left foot and add this quad stretch. So pressing the foot into the hand into the foot, creating that stability, and then after you've created that stability, then start to pull the foot towards your buttock to begin to stretch a little deeper. And then if you want to add the heart opener again, just like in all the other postures, think about retracting the shoulder blades, pulling the heart through. And then we'll slowly come out of that. Bring that right foot now in towards your groin. We'll make the transition to pigeon. So now the knee is on the right edge of the mat. The heel is in front of the groin. You press into the shin to hug the knees in towards one another, creating that sense of stability. And then begin to lower down. And if you want to go a little deeper now, you'll come to the ball of the back foot and press into your heel. And then when you find your deepest edge, then you'll just start to surrender down. And we're gonna stay here. So now is this time of concealment to just go inward and reflect. Reflect on what is it that you're trying to manifest. And what are the actions that need to take place to do that? And then you'll slowly start to bring yourself up. Ease back to hands and knees. And then gently just take a few circles with that right knee. And we'll start to set up for our second side. So for your second side, you're gonna bring the left foot nice and wide, ankle under your knee, foot goes in the direction of your knee, and then begin to lower down. Creating some rotation in your left hip, maybe taking your hand to your hip, pressing it away, or maybe just putting a little bit more intention into the outer edge of your foot. So we store all types of energy in our bodies. We store stress, tightness in our muscles. Super common to experience tightness and stress in your hips. So this can be a really big release. So just let it out. Surrendering into the stretch, letting go of gripping, surrendering into the breath. then you can stay exactly where you are, or if you want to add that quad stretch, bending the back leg, reaching for the foot with your left hand, pressing the hand into the foot into the hand, and then going a little deeper, and then adding that heart opener if you choose, lifting the tailbone, softening the curve in the lower back, lifting the heart, pulling the heart through as you hug your shoulder blades in. And then we'll slowly start to work our way out of that. Lifting up, easing back to all fours. And then gently just start to make a few circles with the knee. And then we'll set up for pigeon. So now the left knee will go wide. Press into the shin, hug in. Find the ball of the back foot pressing through your heel. Begin to explore and discover your edge, that place that isn't painful but isn't comfortable. And then ease down, allowing for this deep fascial release. And then you'll start to slowly bring yourself out of it. Coming into a seated position with your knees bent. Drop your knees over to the left. And then coming back to center. Drop your knees over to the right. Come back to center. And then we'll come into a seated position. Take your right leg, I'll take my left, but you'll take your right leg out straight and then bring your left leg into your arms and just start to cradle it. And then allow your ankle to rest on your thigh. Take your hands on either side of your hips and begin to extend up through your spine, hinging forward, folding over the front leg. It may be a half an inch or it could be a few inches. Just begin to find wherever your hinge is in your hip, leading with your heart. So you should still feel that lift in your tailbone, that little curve in your low back, and your chest pulling through. Wherever that may be, however that may manifest for you. The depth is completely unimportant. I just want you to find your edge and lean into it. And then rise up. Allow this foot to just slide to the outside of the extended leg. And then just wrap your arms around, hugging the knee in towards the chest, giving yourself a stretch for the outer hip. So just a little self-love. And then we'll switch it up. So now take your left leg out, take your right leg into your arms, cradle it. Allow your ankle to rest on your thigh, flexing the foot. Hands at your hip, extend up through your spine. Lead with your heart as you hinge forward to any degree that serves you. And then slowly rise up. Allow the foot to slide to the outside of the leg, and then just hug your arm around, giving your right hip a nice stretch. And then we'll slowly come out of that. Work our way down onto our back with our knees bent. Take your feet all the way over towards the edges of your mat. Lay down onto your back. It's getting cold out. Start to you can cactus the arms. Drop the knees over to the left. Feel a big stretch down the front of your right hip, the front of your right thigh. Take 3 big breaths. And then slowly come back to center. The wind is coming through. Can you hear the wind chimes? Drop the knees over to the right. It's definitely getting colder. and then coming back to center. With your knees bent, allow for a curve in your lower back. So feel that like little lift in your tailbone, that little space under your low back. And then start to draw your right knee in and then begin to extend the leg up, taking the hands behind the thigh, gently pulling the leg in towards the body, possibly extending the left leg out long onto the floor. And then release, bending the right knee, hugging the left knee in towards your chest. Allow for that little curve under your lower back. And then start to extend the left leg up, gently pulling the leg in towards the body. And then consider extending the bottom leg if that creates more stability in the pelvis. And then slowly release the leg down so that your whole body is extended on the mat. So that you're relaxed on your back as you begin to set yourself up for Shavasana. And as you come into this final resting pose, allow your body to begin to still. Feel your connection with the ground below you. Feel the stability that that provides. Feel the weight and the heaviness of the body as it connects with the earth. And then begin to observe the pulse of your heart. Feel the heat in your body. Feel the vibration of your breath in the back of your throat. Beginning to observe the energy beyond our physical form. Realizing that we are nature, that this body that we are in is a part of something much bigger. A fullness of all there is. That thread in the fabric, that connection with nature, that connection with the universe. Samadhi. Our bliss. Slowly start to bring your awareness back to your body, bringing movement to your fingers and your toes. Rolling over onto the side of your body, drawing your knees in, cradling yourself, and then just gently rocking up to a seated position. Bring your hands together at heart center, coming back to the intention that you set for yourself. Carrying that intention into your heart, we'll seal that intention with one Om. Take a big inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. Inhale to Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Let me know if you guys have any questions or how you feel.
Easy.
Could you guys hear the music very well? Or the wind chimes or anything?
Wind chimes, yes. And music,
Music not so well. Yeah, there's an outdoor speaker here, but I wasn't sure how it would translate.